So you heard me say it at the top of the show, the Statue of Liberty would hang her head in shame over this president's immigration policy. Remember the poem on the base of that statue? Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Well, the nation's top immigration official is rewriting that.
Give me your tired and your poor who can stand on their own 2 feet and who will not become a public charge.
Ken Cuccinelli is attempting to defend himself to Erin Burnett tonight. Watch this.
Well, of course, that poem was referring back to people coming from Europe, where they had class-based societies, where people were considered wretched if they weren't in the right class. And it was written 1 year after the first federal public charge rule was written.
So let's bring in now Michael Wiles, the immigration attorney who represented First Lady Melania Trump, among other clients. He is the author of Safe Haven in America as well. Good evening, sir.
Thank you, Don.
Your response to Ken Cuccinelli, what he said today, twisting the iconic words to defend his policy, you think?
Poor taste. Just poor judgment, poor taste of words. With the magnificence of Lady Liberty but a few miles from this studio, and the founding mothers and fathers having sought our shores to create this beautiful golden experiment. The book that I wrote was Safe Haven America, Battle to Open the Golden Doors. Those doors need to be opened on a hinge to protect us against those that would cause us harm, but to be open to the newest entrepreneurs and risk takers, historically, that immigrants have always been through the millennia.
Yeah. But did you hear, Ben, I'm paraphrasing, I think you were saying, well, that's what happened. It was a class-based society, and so therefore that doesn't matter. I was sort of shocked to hear. You winced when you heard that.
It bothers me. I'm a grandson of Holocaust surviving generation. This country means so much. My grandfather told my father, you're a citizen by choice, by chance. I'm a citizen by choice. People work harder when they come to this country, and they travel through a historic discrimination and challenges. A person who talks like that writes off history in the poorest of sense.
Why do you think the president is taking this stance? What's his intention with
It's optics. I don't believe, having represented the president for many years, and he understands the business metrics of good immigration. Why should we not find a way to onboard foreign students and talents into the workforce and then compete against them in another constituency? I think that the president sees this as a good political opportunity, quite honestly. Right now, what they're going to do is increase and marginalize the demographics to people who can afford to sponsor people. Yeah. You're a Marine. You fall in love with somebody abroad. Unless you're making enough money, you can't then issue an affidavit of support to bring them in. This is going to shoot ourselves in our own feet.
Interesting. We've heard the president rail against the calls for chain migration, the policy where American citizens are able to obtain residency for their extended family. I want you to listen to this and then we'll talk.
Under the current broken system, a single immigrant can bring in virtually unlimited numbers of distant relatives.
We want to get rid of chain migration.
Ending chain migration.
You have chain migration. We have to get rid of chain migration.
So the First Lady herself, who you represented, by the way, on immigration issues, sponsored her parents for their green cards. Didn't Melania Trump use what he's calling chain migration, or which is actually called family reunification? But did she?
I think I got awarded one of the New York Times best quotes of last year, where my response to that was, I suppose. Look, that is the golden tradition. A person comes to America, they get a green card, they become a citizen, they bring those that they love. The president misspoke. You cannot bring in 30 relatives. You can only bring in immediate relatives. And the First Lady expressed herself at the time that she would love to have her parents babysit. She would love to know that her parents are citizens of this nation, and then went through the process. And mind you, I had the privilege of sitting with them when they, like any other family, were asked questions and were in pure jubilation when they became citizens of this great country. That's a tradition that is magnificent each time an immigration lawyer goes through it.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, Michael Wiles.
Thank you for having me.
appreciate it. President Trump goes after